Hey everyone, wanted to take a little time today and talk about dreams. So, I don't know how your dreams have been going, but the last few weeks for me, my dreams have been really intense and I didn't really know what to attribute it to. But then I've seen several articles in the last couple of weeks about how many people are experiencing really intense dreams during this time, during COVID-19. I'll link to one of them I just read the other day that I thought was pretty interesting. But suffice it to say, apparently this is an experience that a lot of people are having. Um, Honestly, it freaked me out a little bit. Maybe a little TMI here, but I haven't had dreams this intense since I was pregnant. So, both of my pregnancies, I had insane dreams for the entire time and kept a journal because they were just so bizarre and wacky and frightening sometimes, and just I didn't know how my mind was coming up with this. So, I kept a journal during that time. And I've started doing the same thing now. And so I don't know, maybe you aren't having super intense dreams during this time, but I have been. And so that's been another way for me to kind of come back to my writing a little bit. So because I have so many journals, as I've talked about, I've started another journal. This one specifically just for dreams, and have been trying in the morning first thing if I'm not doing morning pages, which I've been trying to do, and I can't remember now if I've talked about during this course, but I will talk about morning pages and the artist's way at some point. Um, but I've been trying to record my dreams each morning. Just one is a writing practice because it gets me writing at least a little bit every day, and two, just as a record. And so I've talked about this before, kind of this importance of documenting this time and what we're going through right now. Like, it's something we might want to come back to later on. And so I've been writing down my dreams because one, they're so bizarre. And so, just as an example, um, one night my mom was in one of my dreams and we were somewhere trying to shop, and I feel like we were in Chicago. I don't know if that's true, but we were in some big city and we were wandering around these shops and all the streets were just perfectly empty. There wasn't anybody out anywhere, and yet every time we'd go into a shop there were some people working, waiting for us to come in and purchase something. And so it was just this really surreal environment of like no people anywhere on the street, but we could still kind of move amongst these buildings and amongst these shops and try to purchase things. And then a bit later in that dream, I was in a different place. There had been an election, and I was going in, and this gentleman who was running for office of some sort was there with his wife, and they were kind of receiving visitors who had volunteered or helped them in some way with their campaign. And it was this big old building, and there was what looked to be an old gymnasium that was mostly empty, but had a few tables set up, and people had been bringing gifts and leaving them there. And I had wandered into this space and no one was there. And I was rummaging kind of on this tabletop. There's just all these interesting, almost kind of like antiques and just old items. And so I was just looking through them. And for some reason, I decided I wanted to take a picture of this table. And so I got my phone out and I took a photo. And on my phone screen, in the photo, I could see that there was somebody sitting in one of the chairs on the other side of the table. But away from my camera, just me standing in that space, no one was there. And so I went back, because I thought in my head I knew who it was. I went back through my photos on my phone and just gasped because it was my husband's grandmother who passed away several years ago. But she just showed up in my dream. And so I took another photo and she was there again. And in the dream, I said to her, I can see you. I know you're there. And I just got really flustered because I wanted to contact my husband and have him come and see his grandmother. And it was just this really bizarre dream. And I woke up just kind of that feeling, and this has been happening a lot in my dreams, that I've gotten to see somebody I haven't seen for a while. And so some people who've passed have been showing up in my dreams more than they normally would, but also just friends. Like, I'm missing my friends so much during this time that they've been showing up. A lot of my friends from California who I haven't seen in some time have been showing up in particular, but just lots of my friends. And so I wake up almost kind of feeling comforted sometimes, like I'm getting to somehow spend a little bit of time with them and see them. Um, but I just want to talk about that a little bit today and talk about if you are dreaming quite a bit or more than usual or having maybe more bizarre dreams, and just aren't knowing how to get back to the page or what to write about, maybe just start keeping a record of what you're dreaming or even what you're just thinking about when you wake up. First thing in the morning, what's on your mind. Write it down, get it out. Um, and maybe it'll spark a story. Maybe it'll spark an idea for an article later. Or maybe it's just something you want to share with others. I love hearing other people's dreams. I have a couple friends who just always have the most bizarre dreams, and I love hearing them and just what the mind conjures while you're sleeping. I just am endlessly fascinated by that. So, wanted to offer that as a practice. If you'd like to share any of your bizarre dreams with me, feel free below. I always love reading your comments. And beyond that, just hope you're having a good week so far. All right, thanks.